Hi, Coach Kyle Harris at the Bob Harris Baseball School, and we're going to go over a hitting drill that we call the step back drill. And this step back drill is a drill to engage the back half, the lower half, and to learn that hip hinge in the hip to get a little bit more of a load. So a lot of times what we'll see is kids that they don't load, everything's kind of moving forward, they're not maintaining the center of mass with their torso or through their core from their hips all the way on up. Or when they load, they're loading this way, okay? They're coming back here, getting off balance. So basically, we feel it's very, very important to have great balance. So the first thing we're gonna do with kids like that is really try to make sure they know how to rotate their body. They know how to rotate with their hips, they know how to tilt, here with their shoulders, okay? So once we get them balanced and they can get a good sense of where their center of mass is, and they can rotate, okay, and they can tilt their shoulders a little bit, what we try to do is try to get that load back in as soon as we can with them, so they can be more athletic and they're not as robotic. You know, I mean, we don't want to spin, we don't want a full spinny rotation. We want to make sure they're separating. Okay, they're getting the hips leading, the upper body's back, they're creating some stretch through their torso, and they're able to tilt to contact. So what we try to do is try to do some type of movement drill where they're moving. Okay, there's a lot of ways we do this, but one of them is we do the step back drill. And with the step back drill, you want to make sure when you're making contact here on a tee, we're in a very static environment, so it needs to be something that they can repeat over and over again. In order to do that, we need to make sure the front foot's in the right spot for that individual. We don't want them doing this drill, which is a step back here, and then having to reach for the ball and creating some bad habits or getting into old habits. So the first thing we do is we just practice a step back there. You know, they don't even need to use a bat. We step back and then we hold it there. Boom, step back and they can hold it. And what we're looking for here is making sure they got that good hip hinge and they're not hinging back this way. Because if it's somebody that's not loading at all, they're not going to feel comfortable here. They're going to tilt back. Or if it's somebody that's tilting, we've got to get rid of that as soon as we can. Or if we did get rid of it, we don't want that to come back. So we're going to hinge down on that hip. Now as we hinge down, boom, we'll have them hold it and then come back. Hold it, come back. Hold, stride into the ball. Just like that. And we'll just step it through. So it's a process that we work on, just like any kind of motor skill. So once we're this way, they can hold that for a second, then we allow them to step back, as I said, and stride into it. Here to there. Now's the point in time where we put that ball on the tee form and we need to make sure they're in the right spot. So we're here, we step back, and then we just attack the ball with our normal swing. And we're letting these kids be as athletic and dynamic as possible. We want them to use their swing. And what we're just looking for is not getting here. We're trying to maintain that center of mass with the hip hinge. So we're hip hinging and then hitting onto that strong front side right into a good hitting position. I'll show you a couple more here. Step back, gather, and then attack the ball. One more. Step back, gather, boom. All right, so great drill to use when you're trying to teach somebody a little bit more of a load. Again, just like with the standing tall drill, we need to make sure that we have our balance and our rotation down, that we understand where that balance is, where the center of mass is, where the rotation is. We can't jump into these drills with students or athletes that don't have an idea of where their center of mass is and they don't have an idea on how to rotate and control their body. When we do that, they're going to flail all over. We use some other drills for those types of kids to try to get them to rotate and try to continue to stay athletic. But the step back drill, great drill for those that want to get a little bit more of a load, those that rock back too far with their torso on their load, or those that are real front foot heavy and don't get that hip hinge. That hip hinge is very important in trying to develop and maximize power. Thank you guys for watching this. @HossJob on Twitter, @BobHarrisBaseball1 with 1 L on Twitter. Keep watching these videos, and if you guys have any questions, hit us up. Thanks.